There is a statue in Iloilo City of a man named Nicholas Loney, and there is also Mueye Loney. However, some people associated him with sugar, and the majority do not know who he was. So this is the story of his life. Nicholas Loney was an Englishman born in 1826 in Plymouth, a bustling naval port. He was one of the 10 children of Admiral Robert Loney of the Royal Navy and Anne Candy. At the age of 16, he left home. He worked for 4 years in Venezuela, where he became fluent in Spanish. After a year back in England in 1846, he left again, this time for Singapore. Loney applied to Kerr and Company, and in May 1851, he was appointed to the correspondence department of the firm in Manila. He initially lived with the Kerr cousins at the Escolta. He took an immediate liking to the country and undertook frequent travels outside Manila. In September 1855, a royal order was issued, approving the opening of 3 more ports of foreign trade: Sual, Iloilo, and Zamboanga. In anticipation of this decision, the British consul in Manila had asked British merchants in the city to nominate candidates for the position of vice consul in Iloilo. The unanimous favorite was Nicholas Loney, and on June 11, 1856, he was appointed British Vice Consul to Iloilo. Loney ordered the construction of a building for the Vice Consulate, but since that will take some time, he rented a house at Haro. His residency raised the number of European in Haro to 6, all the others being Spanish. He befriended them, and he quickly realized the difference between the Spanish and Anglo-Saxons. Loney also wrote to Russell and Sturgis, the biggest American trading house in Manila, and persuaded them to send a ship to Iloilo to load sugar for Australia via Manila. Russell and Sturgis had enough trust in him to give him an advance of $15,000. In 1857, the firm Loney and Company was born, the first foreign commercial company outside of Manila. Its first focus was importing goods from Manila to sell locally, and this business grew rapidly. Traders from Antique, Leyte, and Negros came to buy supplies in wholesale. Now Loney is set about to modernize and grow the sugar industry. He focused on both cultivation and milling. Sugar production was increasing due to the growing price of sugar in Manila, and Loney helped the plantation owners and farmers by providing loans and purchasing modern machinery from Europe through his firm, which helped increase the efficiency of sugar production in Panay and Negros. This was a success, and by 1861, there were already 30 iron mills operating in Iloilo and Negros. He also saw the commercial advantage of exporting sugar directly from Iloilo rather than transshipping through Manila, and he helped turn the town from a swampy backwater into a thriving city. He also encouraged improvements in infrastructure at the port of Iloilo, reclamation of the western bank of the river, and the construction of the Calle Progreso, which became the location of numerous sugar warehouses. Loney also introduced higher yielding varieties of sugarcane, which he imported from the East Indies. As a result of this initiative, sugar exports from Iloilo rapidly grew, from 82,000 pesos in 1858 to 1 million pesos in 1863. Sugar plantation in Negros grew rapidly in size and number, resulting in a large-scale immigration from Panay to Negros, Within a generation, Negros had become the Philippine sugar land. In 1860, Loney applied for a leave of absence to go to England. He wanted to pursue many business-related matters and also cited health reasons. While awaiting approval to travel to Europe, Loney was joined by his brother Robert. With several partners, Loney acquired a hacienda in Negros. His brother Robert managed the hacienda. The hacienda used the most modern machineries and became a favorite visiting place for foreign businessmen. Then, on his one-man mission to Europe, Loney took up many matters, such as direct exports from England to Iloilo, a telegraph line from Hong Kong to Manila, and from Manila to the Southern Islands, a railway from Manila to Sual, and the setting up of an inter-island steamship company, connecting Manila, Iloilo, and Cebu. He also lobbied in Madrid for tariff reforms and to permit foreigners to own property in the Philippines. After 18 months in Europe, Loney returned to the Philippines by the overland route via China in May 1863. While in Spain, Nicholas Loney, aged 37, fell in love with a 27-year-old Leontine Tratschler. In 1865, Leontine and her mother traveled to Hong Kong, where she probably married Nicolas. They built a new house in Tabucan, just across the bridge to La Paz. 11 months later, a daughter was born, and 2 years after that, a son. For a short while, from 1866 to 67, Loney became acting British consul and lived with his family in Manila. During this time, he proposed a series of reforms to the Spanish authorities to promote economic activity and encourage trade. Loney returned to Iloilo, but after their second child was born, the couple started to think about returning to Europe. He thought of applying for the position of vice consul in Spain, and the couple decided to leave by the end of 1869. Before the appointed date, while resting at home, Loney conceived of a plan to once more go up to Mount Canlaon to explore it for agricultural and scientific purposes. They climbed the volcano around the 17th or 18th of April 1869, even though Loney was not feeling well. Near the summit, he suddenly developed a high fever. His companions rushed him down to Matabang. Doctors were summoned but to no avail. Sadly, on April 23rd, at the young age of 43, Nicholas Loney passed away. He was buried by the seashore under some coconut trees in what is now Rizal Street in the city. By voluntary subscription among the residents of Iloilo, Haro, and Molo, money was raised for a marble obelisk. In March 1904, the Municipal Council of Iloilo passed a resolution naming the quay along Iloilo River, part of the port, as Muelle Loney, or Loney Waterfront. The obelisk was destroyed in 1945 to expand Rizal Street and was not reconstructed. In March 1981, a statue of him was unveiled at the end of Muelle Loney. Some historians, such as Alfred McCoy, has criticized Loney's contribution to the Philippine development, claiming that Loney's primary aim in Iloilo was to destroy its textile manufacturing industry in order to substitute imported British cottons, and that his contribution to the sugar industry was merely incidental. But today, his statue still proudly stands in Muelle Loney for his contribution to Iloilo's growth as a city and as the father of Philippine sugar industry. So guys, if you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and feel free to comment.
Hit the bell, hit the bell, hit the bell, hit the bell, come on guys! don't forget to share!
And like!